listening to the Barretta Brothers, two of us. For best results, use both ears.
Hey, brother.
I am so excited about this.
I know. Let's not waste time. Let's just go. Let's just
Right.
go, because
Okay.
I can't wait to see the man.
Okay. Should we
The
just
legend.
do the necessaries at the start?
Quick. Yeah, let's just do it quick.
Okay.
Gene,
Shameless
if you
plugs.
want to see Gene's crap, if you want to see any of Gene's crappy drawings, go to go to genebarretta.com. There's a lot. It's not very good, and he's got a lot of books. They're not good either. But if you got a couple
Just feel
bucks to spend,
obligated.
yeah, you should go
and
anyway.
Listen,
what else?
Bill did some really crummy videos that are on YouTube.
Oh,
One's called
they're awful.
Jules Little Gems. If
Terrible.
you pity him, go watch. Okay, do us the favor. And
don't waste your time.
Finally, just at least visit thebarettabrothers.com. You don't have to read it or anything, but just go visit so that we can tell our grandparents that you did it.
Right. And also, you know what? If you can, while you're there, subscribe. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's a button. But you know what? Forget it. Don't worry about it. Don't do it. We don't want you to do it.
Listen.
But go ahead.
Forget everything we said.
Bring on the man, please, Gene. I can't wait.
Yes, listen. We have a really special guest. He is the subject of a new documentary about his life called Inmate Number 1, The Rise of Danny Trejo. If you've not seen one of his films, you must be in a coma, because IMDb lists 385 credits for his movies.
Oh my God.
He's probably best known for his many performances as the character Machete. Would you please welcome the great Danny Trejo?
Hey!
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Danny, thank you for being here, man.
Thank you so much.
So excited.
It's so great to have you here. We were so excited when we heard that you were willing to come on and have a little chat with us. And I've been fortunate to work with you several times through the Muppets. Obviously, you're part of the Muppet family. Whenever we have a project, it's always let's see if Danny's available. It's usually the first
I love the Muppets. I absolutely adore the Muppets.
I'm trying
what
to
was
think
the
of
last thing you guys did together? Yeah, what did you do?
The Muppets Most Wanted. The Muppets.
Muppets Now was the last thing we did. We did the chef, you and the chef.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The chef. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were cooking.
Now, did you understand a word he said?
Yes, I just remembered the taco you made.
The taco you made. It was a mole. Remember, it was a mole.
Yeah, mole. Yeah, the one I made was a mole. Yours was a mole.
A mole. Right? But yeah, that's. I believe you're in episode 2 of that series, which starts at the end of the month. Actually, I think July 31st.
Yeah.
But we had a fun day. That was fun doing it, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
You know what? There's so much to talk about. We want to talk about your documentary. We want to talk about your cooking, your restaurants, your cookbook. Can we, Jason, go to our little gallery and we can show some folks? So you have well, there he is.
There he is.
Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Here's a handsome fella.
Babe.
So, Gene and I growing up, we equate food, I think, Gene, I'm speaking for you, but we equate food with family. Is it the same for you? Is that where this comes from for you? Yeah.
You know what? Like at my restaurant, when we have meetings and stuff, what I say is I want people to feel like they're at home, not in a restaurant. Like, they could say change the TV if they want. You know what I mean? It's
right,
and that's the feeling.
When you were a kid, was your mom a great cook? Did your mom make great stuff?
She was amazing. She was amazing. And I used to say Latin families, but all families that live from check to check, at the first of the month, there's these elaborate meals. But by the end of the month, they better be like ingenuity. You better have ingenuity, because I used to ask my mom, what is this? She says, I call it out of the cupboard. I call it don't eat it. Eat it and don't ask questions. You know.
So she could make delicious things by whatever she could find and grab and make it.
You know,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, how do you
Wow. Yeah. What was your what made you want to do this? To do the Trejo's Tacos Cantina?
You know, me and my mom always joked about having a restaurant. You know, hey mom, let's open a restaurant. We can have it, you know, call it blah blah blah. My dad, though, my dad was like the Mexican Archie Bunker. You know, this is the 50s. The women didn't work in the 50s. You know? Every time we would talk about it, hey, I got a kitchen right there. Go cook whatever the hell you want, all right? You know? And so Nick's on the restaurant, you know. And,
what else?
Everything good that has happened to me has happened as a direct result of helping someone else. And I did a favor. I did a favor for a director. His name was Craig Moss. He had this little film called Badass. And I had a chance to do a bigger budget movie, but my agent, always listen to your agent. My agent Gloria said,
the lovely Gloria.
She said, you know what, Danny, I think this would be a better thing. It's got a story behind it. I said, yeah, but money. And yeah, but you know, really. So naturally, I took this movie Badass, which turned into a trilogy. So I made 3 times the money. Wow. The producer was a guy named Ash Shaw. And he saw that I like good food. I don't eat processed food. I don't go to fast food joints.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know, and so he said, Danny, why don't you open a restaurant? Jokingly, I said, Trejo's Tacos, because that was my mom and Ash brought me a business plan. And me being the brilliant businessman that I am, I immediately gave it to Gloria and said, here, read that. You know? She read it,
and there's a book as well.
Well, you know what? She read it and actually said, you know, it's not a bad idea, Danny. Because most of the time when people come to me with an idea, they want 500 grand up front, or you know.
Yeah.
Right. This is a no-brainer. So we opened up Trejo's Tacos, then Trejo's Cantina. Now we have 7 and a donut and coffee shop.
Wow.
You know, speaking.
Well, can I just say real quick, Gene? Wait, Gene, sorry.
Yeah, just one thing.
I just want to say, if it weren't for Gloria,
there it is.
She's I love her.
Yeah,
she made this happen.
I wouldn't be.
I wouldn't be in the restaurant. She made this happen for us. You know? But there's his book. There's the book. There we go.
And she had overheard we were at the restaurant, and people are always asking me, what's the recipe in this, and how do you make this? And so, you know, hey, let's do a cookbook, you know. So listen to your agents, I'm telling you, you know. So
that's right. That's right. Gene, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Gene. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, you know, speaking of people bringing you ideas, your entrepreneurship has inspired me, and I came up with a product that you might want to go in with me on to market.
Hey,
you know, it's a guaranteed way to expand your child fan base. So I made up a prototype that I think could be a breakout toy for Christmas. It's called the Trejo.
Mikey, look. Send me that.
You think it could work?
Yeah. Horror movies for children. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. It's a hit. It's a hit for Christmas.
So speaking of family, Danny, if I might, we have someone that wanted to come on and say hello. And I hope you don't mind, but we thought we'd bring him on now if we could. Can we bring him on, Jason? Do you have you know this fella?
Hey, Robert, what's up?
My baby's sleeping.
The baby's sleeping. Oh, the baby's sleeping. Oh my gosh. Can we see the baby?
Can we see the baby?
Kind of weird. He looks just like Danny Trejo.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
It came out I didn't know it was
But he's still sleeping. He's still sleep. Look, he sleeps right through. How good. What a good baby.
Wow.
Hey, so
Send me a
Robert,
picture
must
of
be in
that,
the
Robert.
formula.
Well, you remember this?
Send me a picture of that, Robert.
This is your
Send me a
clone
picture of that.
It was floating in
Where's
fluid
he
in
from?
Machete Kills. This was
Yes.
your clone. It was
Yeah.
better. It was better outside of. This is the biggest. Everyone wants to hold the baby over at filmmakers.
It's adorable.
I gotta have one of those.
There's only one.
Does it have tattoos yet? Does it have
Oh yeah,
tattoos yet?
he's got the tattoo. He's got his Bane tattoo.
Oh, it
He's got
does.
tattoos on his
Oh my
arm.
No,
God.
beautiful.
Oh my God.
His little toes have fallen off over time, but
Oh my God.
Hey,
tough.
you guys have clearly worked a little bit together, huh? You've had some experiences
what is
together.
it? 10 movies, 11 movies? I don't even know.
Is
and
it?
then shows.
11.
Wow.
Yeah, we worked
11.
together a bunch. I lost
11,
count.
and you produced 2 other ones. I think you
Yeah,
produced 2 other ones, so it's probably about 13. But
And then you've been in a bunch of TV stuff. You were in Dust Till Dawn.
Yeah,
So you
yes,
count.
yeah.
Just count. Discovered him before. There was no nepotism involved because I discovered him before I knew we were related.
Yeah, right. That was funny.
Right.
That was funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us,
But
how
I,
did you discover that again?
Oh, when we were there shooting Desperado,
Yeah.
we're shooting in South Texas, the Mexican border. His Texas family came to visit him, and my dad, who was the keeper of the family tree, was there. And he met, they were talking while we were working. And by the time we finished our takes, we came out and they said, hey, we found out we were related because through marriage, And it's not like far down the line as you would think. It's actually.
Wow.
Why do you think I got such a great career?
Well, the longest dude was great. The reason he got such a great career were two things that most impressed me about Dan. First time I met him, he looked the part. I needed somebody who just needed to look menacing. I didn't want them to speak. And he came in, and I thought, this is the guy. And I handed him the knife that he needed. I said, start practicing because you need to look like you sleep with this thing. And so he walked out with it and showed up on set flipping it around. And the other thing that impressed me was that as soon as he got to set, he said, can you help? Can I talk to production about finding what the worst high schools are in this area? Because I want to go talk to them because that's what I do.
Wow.
And I thought, wow, this guy is really, even back then, before his star had even risen, that's just what he did. And I was really impressed with that.
Wow.
And then I found out we were related. But before that, though, what I saw was we're shooting in a little Mexican town. No one really knew who Antonio was because he was from Europe, so they didn't know who
Antonio
he was the star of the
Banderas,
movie.
you mean?
Yeah, so they saw
Antonio
the
Banderas.
cameras out. They saw Antonio, they saw Salma, and they saw Danny. And there was always a crowd around Danny. They thought this guy must be the star of the movie. And when I saw the charisma, magnetism that people just primally had with him, I went to him and I talked to him about a character that I'd been working on called Machete. Back then in '94, I used to tell him about Machete. I said, someday we're going to do a movie where there's a Latin superhero character called Machete. You're going to be Machete. And we talked about it for years. So when we finally made Spy Kids, I said, I don't know if we'll ever make that movie. So let's call him Uncle Machete. So that's how Uncle Machete showed up in Spy Kids. It was an homage to this character we've been talking about for a long time. And and then years later, when Quentin and I were going to do Grindhouse, we're trying to come up with fake movie trailers. And I said, I've got one. I've got a movie I've been wanting to make forever called Machete. And I know it's a great idea. Let's just make a trailer of it because at least that'll get it out of our system. Me and Danny get to finally do that movie in a 5-minute form. And so we did the fake trailer for Machete, and it seemed so real to people that for 5 years, they would hunt Danny and I down saying, when is that movie coming out? They thought it was a real movie. Right. They wanted to see it. They'd never seen an exploitation.
I did too.
Before. It would have just never been seen with a Latin superhero kind of at the lead with that face. You would have seen something like that in the 70s, but it never existed. They wanted it to exist. So finally, 5 years later, we made Machete, the film. That was in 2010. So talk about a long route. 14,
so cool.
16 years later.
I called Robert every other day for 5 years. Robert, when are we going to do this?
When are we going to do Machete? Everyone's screaming about Machete. I had to listen. And then
so your first collaboration was what? Your first one?
Desperado,
right. And then do you guys is there Well, let me ask Robert, is there a kind of favorite character that, like, I mean, he's done so many different things. Dusk Till Dawn was crazy, right? To do all
Yeah,
that
Razor
makeup.
Charlie.
Is there an experience? Oh, there you go. There you are.
My
There's,
my
go
daughter
ahead.
took
Sorry,
that
Dan.
picture to school and said, "This is my dad when he gets mad."
I'll tell you something though. Out of all this, there's nothing creepier than that baby you're holding right now.
I
It's
love
spooky as
it.
hell.
Come on. Every child's beautiful to the parent.
Everybody,
Here's an
on the
interesting
set
trivia for
when we
Dan.
walk.
What?
Navajas means knives. Navajas. That was his character name.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
In Dusk Till Dawn, he was Razor Charlie. Then he was Machete. He's played Cuchillo before. Next one we do, you have to be Butter Knife.
So you guys, you've obviously had such a great history together. I really appreciate, Robert, you coming on and saying hi to this lovely man. I mean, we wanted to kind of do something, Danny, that was more than
That was
just an
awesome.
interview. We just wanted to celebrate you as
That's
the
awesome.
wonderful person you are and the things that you do. And I know Robert was thrilled to come on and be a part of that. So
yeah, I mean,
I
he's
just want to
created
thank you.
so much in this world, and he's
Go ahead,
created
Robert.
this iconic character called Machete. That is,
Yeah.
even his mom would call him Machete after that. He became, he defined that role,
Machete.
which was the hero people needed to kind of see.
People still call me Machete everywhere I go. Machete.
I noticed
Yeah,
you even did
I-
a superhero thing in real life. You saved some kid's life in a car, and if you look it up, there was no headline that said Danny Trejo saves kid. It always said Machete saves kid. Of all the headlines, because you become one and the same with this very mythical character. You've led a mythical life, and it's an inspiring one. People love you,
Robert. The thing that I loved the most was when little kids were coming to my door on Halloween dressed as Machete.
Wow.
the machete and the long hair or the wig.
Get my mask.
Wow.
What made you think of casting him in Spy Kids?
You know, in Desperado, I didn't want him to speak because whenever he spoke, he was such a sweet guy. So you're going to blow the whole mystique. No lines for you. I'll give you lines in the next movie. And that was Dusk Till Dawn. And he's hilarious. He's great in Dusk Till Dawn. But really, when I walked off the set, he was doing an interview in the back. And he's there giving an interview. And on his knee was his daughter. And beautiful little girl. And seeing the juxtaposition of him with her and seeing how he was with his family and his son, who was such a terrific father and still is. He's one of the greatest fathers anyone could have. I thought people wouldn't expect that from that guy. I'm going to put him in a kid's movie because he's got such a heart and it teaches such a lesson not to just look at someone and judge them by the cover, that he would be terrific in that. And it really opened up, audience for him, but for all Latinos. So Danny's really done a lot for the cause, as well as just for humanity.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
There you go.
That's great.
Wow, I need to get myself one of those. I was just going to say, we brought you a surprise guest here. We should just let him know what we've done. We've assembled all the wardens through your early part of your life who will be visiting during the rest of the show. So I hope you appreciate that.
Robert, thank you, man. Thank you so much. We
Thank
really
you,
appreciate
Robert.
it. And the baby's still sleeping. The baby's so good. He's still
Such
sleeping.
a good baby.
Been asleep for 8 years.
Oh my gosh! You better
Send
check
me a
You
picture
better
of
check
you
the
and that
heartbeat.
baby, Robert.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
I'll text.
All right.
Robert,
Thanks,
send me
man.
a picture of you and that baby.
I'll text it to you. We'll see you.
Besos,
All
right.
primo.
Take care. Thanks.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Wow, was that
Well,
great?
there
Thank
you go.
you guys. That was great. That was great.
welcome.
Thank you.
Can you
Pleasure.
buy those? Can you buy those masks anywhere? Can those masks?
I
still
don't
be
know.
bought?
I forgot. I even
I'll have to
forgot where I
check.
got that one.
All right, I'm going to look
But,
it up after the show.
Oh,
I answer the door
James.
with that all the time.
What's
Danny,
that?
sorry, but Jason's telling me that there's somebody calling in. Can we see who that is?
Oh.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Hey, Chef. Oh, he said he wrote something for you. He wrote something for you. Dear Danny Trejo, you have a nice mustache, but mine is better. Okay. And now he's just, you're a great actor, but he's better. This is ridiculous.
No, it's okay.
Oh, now taco. You make great taco, but his are better. All right. This is silly. You know what?
I like your mole.
What? Whoa. Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Okay. All right. You know what? This
Cut him
is
off.
so. Jason, please hang up on this guy. Please hang up on this. Sorry. We don't know who's going to call in.
I wish I could wake up
Danny.
every morning like this. I wish I could wake up every morning like this. No, for my cousin, I get to talk with the Swedish chef. You guys, that's awesome.
Well,
We'll arrange that. We can
speaking of
arrange it. Yeah.
you did the show, you did Muppets Now with the chef, and as I mentioned earlier, you've worked with the Muppets. Obviously, we always love having you. And you mentioned Muppets Most Wanted. Jason, can we have a look at the first shot from
Yes.
Muppets Most Wanted that we prepared?
And I'm a triple
So
threat.
I know you're going to remember. I know you're going to remember this time.
Wow.
Remember that day?
Yes, absolutely.
We were cold. We were cold.
It
Remember
was
how cold
freezing.
it was? Yeah. But you know what I love
The
about
gulag.
this? The gulag, and that you did the choreography and the singing. Like, you guys were amazing. What was it like to have to learn all that stuff and be with
You
these
know
other
what?
two guys, Ray and Jermaine?
It was, yeah. Well, Ray never told me, but I think he was like a dancer. You know, I honestly believe he used to wear them tights and stuff. But
All right.
because he was great, I just followed his
Yeah.
lead.
But you had it was an interesting time when you came to work on Muppets Most Wanted, huh? There was
Yeah.
very special.
Well,
What can you tell us?
well, 3 days before, my son called me, and my son, I asked, "Where are you at?" He says, "Well, I brought grandma to breakfast." So I talked to my mom for about 20 minutes on the phone. I hadn't talked to her because I'd been, in London, and I hadn't
Yeah.
talked to her in about 2 weeks. And we talked, and okay, be good, be careful. And then in the middle of the night, Craig, my assistant, woke me up and said, "Hey, I got some bad news. Your mom passed away." So I was deciding whether to bail or not. And then I talked to Mary Matickle, my secretary, and she says, "Danny, we're handling everything. Don't be. You'll just get in the way. We've got a lot of stuff to do, so don't. Okay, just let us handle it."
Right.
So I decided to stay. Okay, so I'll stay, and I was real good with it. I was when my dad passed away, I just completely froze up because I had to take care of my mom. So no emotion whatsoever. I went through the whole thing. Just I never really, I guess I forget what they call it when you feel something.
When you go, when you mourn or go through the emotion of it. Right.
Yeah, I just locked it all out. And I remember my mom going, "You better not do that. You better not do that when I die." I said, "Mom, you're not going to die. Don't worry about it." And again, so I froze up. I just didn't do anything. And everybody was coming, "Oh, we're so sorry." Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Please, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Until that guy, the little green frog, the guy came up and said, "Danny, I'm really sorry about your mommy." And I went to the bathroom. And I know my mom sent him. Because she saw me freezing up again. And I don't think, if it wasn't for that frog, I think I would have had a breakdown because I was holding my dad, then my mom, and I'm not feeling anything. And so I went to the bathroom, and I think I cried. And I think I remember Ray Liotta coming and saying, "Are you all right?" I go, "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay now." And we went back and did the scene. And that scene was a big dance scene, with Kermit
in the mess hall, in the big hall.
I
right?
I love Tina Fey.
That's my favorite
Tina
song
Fey
in the movie.
my book,
Yeah,
I know, it's awesome.
Tina was great, wasn't she?
So much soul in
under,
it.
Yeah. It was.
And when
I remember we were.
When she said good night, Danny Trejo, I went, I didn't know she was going to say my name. She said good night to all the Muppets, and then she said, good night, Danny Trejo. My God.
Yeah. We thought that was real. That was hysterical that she just used your name. It was so funny. But speaking of Muppets Most Wanted, we also, I think, have a friend, don't we, Gene? Somebody wants to say hi to Danny.
Sure, we can bring him in.
Yeah, is he here?
Hey,
I'm
Kermit.
Here. Hey there,
What's
Danny.
up?
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Kermit. And you just made my month. Thank you.
Oh man,
I love you.
You know what? It's so great to see you again.
Hey, it's been a long time, Kermit. We got to do another something, anything. The Muppets Most Hated or something.
Yeah, sure.
Anything.
You know what? Anytime we're making something new, we always know that we can count on you being there. In fact, when we get a new script, we even say, "What kind of role does Danny play?"
Yeah,
what's he gonna do?
So hey Kermit.
Yeah.
I think isn't it true? Like almost every script that comes through, we go, well, where does Danny go? Right?
Yeah, where are we going to put Danny? Get Danny? We got to find a place for Danny.
Yeah. What are you doing, Kermit?
What am I doing?
And by the way, what do you do?
Just hanging out.
Right now, I'm just kind of like, we fed a lot of people from the restaurants. We go take food to a lot of people that aren't able to, and everybody's so funny because all the women that we give food to always ask us, "Do you have any Pampers?" I didn't know Pampers were so expensive. I mean, my kids are 30 years old, and I never bought Pampers. My wife always did, right? And
right.
So we bought 150 boxes of Pampers. I think they were $35 a crack. I mean, it was, and so we passed out Pampers.
Wow.
And my assistant Mario Castillo, he said, "You know what? We went from being shot callers in San Quentin to passing out Pampers." And then he said, "Do you realize if we go back to the joint, we'll have a nickname like, 'Hey, Huggies, come here.'"
Huggy.
Yeah, I think it's really great. I think it's great, Danny, that you're feeding people, and those tacos are sure delicious. How's the restaurant business going?
You know what? We're staying alive with takeout and
good
and delivery, and we've got a thing now with Gold Belly, and people from all over the United States can use our menu, and we'll send it to them. So.
Oh wow!
Oh, I'm curious for Kermit's sake, Danny. Do you guys have a fly and grasshopper taco?
Absolutely. Are you kidding? I got one just for Kermit.
That would be. I have to order some takeout.
It's not as good as the chef's mole, but it's awesome.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Chef's. I don't know if I would even call his edible. Yeah.
I think it was just right?
I wasn't watching him make that, so I was doing mine, and then when I looked up and I seen that mole, I almost lost my.
Good grief!
Hey, Kermit, I just wanted to. I just so appreciate that you coming on and saying hi to Danny. What's coming up? Oh, Muppets Now is coming up, right? So
yeah, we've got Muppets Now. That's it's premiering July 31st.
Right, awesome. and Danny is of course in that, right? I mean,
that's right.
Once again,
you kind of mentioned it there. He is up against the Swedish chef making tacos.
Right.
Guess who wins?
Okay, well, I
can't wait. It's not the Swedish chef.
I can't be in the same room with the chef because he's already threatened my life.
I know. I don't know if you saw that, Kermit, but the chef called in and wants to fight him. I thought you guys made up. I thought, Danny, you guys made up at the end of all that.
I thought we were good. Yeah, I thought we were good.
Yeah.
I love.
I don't know.
A lot of things get lost in translation. Maybe it was just the translation.
Especially with him.
Well, he had his fists up though. Yeah.
Oh no. He's down to fight then.
Hey Kermit, can you anything you can just tell us about this lovely man and the time that you've worked with him? Anything you can pass on to?
I want to say that it was a really fantastic time. It was very cold in England, and remember how cold it was? But we sure had some good times. And I didn't know that you were such a good dancer.
Right?
Really good.
I'm a triple threat.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is right.
I'm a triple threat. I'm a singer, a dancer, and a murderer.
That's right. That was the line, right? That was the line. Yeah. You're such a great sport, and you're kind of like an honorary Muppet, if that was a thing.
Yeah. Oh wow! Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think you're
and I gotta say
right.
that the work that you do, Danny, trying to help people and tell them about your experiences, it takes a special person to do that. And I just gotta say that I'm glad to know you. I'm glad to know you, Danny.
Thank you, and I'm glad to know you, Kermit. I consider you one of my friends, and that's awesome.
Thank you, Kermit.
Thank you so
I really
much.
appreciate you coming on and saying hi, buddy. Thank you, Kermit. I'll see you.
My pleasure.
You soon, I guess.
Yeah, I'll see you around
soon. All right, buddy.
All right, take care.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Gene.
All
see
right.
you later.
Bye. Thank you, Kermit.
Bye, Danny.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Kermit.
God bless you. Kermit's cool.
Wow.
He's so cool, right?
They're lined up at the door today. Look at that.
I know.
Speaking of
They love
prison,
you.
we should probably mention people need to go watch this great documentary, Number One: The Rise of Danny Trejo. It is a great documentary. I was telling Billy, I was watching it, and to me it feels like a narrative film. It's the way it moves along, the music, and it tells the story in a way that just feels like any narrative that you would watch. And I was with it every moment.
Awesome.
And I have to say this too. The story reminds me, your life story reminds me of one of these great parables from the Bible, like Jonah or Job, where it's giving life lessons and examples of how, people can walk their paths and grow as human beings, because you've just made that dramatic turnaround, from your younger days. And that's all I was thinking about during the film. It was something representative of those kind of stories.
Thank you. I meant it to be I meant it to be more of a redemption, than just I went to prison and because when I go to juvenile halls and prisons, I talk about redemption. I talk about it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you end, and you can start being a better person today. Say hello to the guy next to you, especially in prison, because people don't say hello or good morning or how are you in prison. They say, hey, what's up? That's it. So, and you can start, and it only happens here. It just happens here. I want to change the world. It happens here, and I in 1968, I dedicated my life to saying the Lord's name every day and saying and doing whatever I can for my fellow man.
Yeah, you've been consistent.
Yeah. I've kept my promise. And the Lord's kept his. It's like I talked to him a couple of days ago and I said, hey, God, how am I doing? He says, you're doing great, Danny. You've almost worked your way out of hell. You keep it up, so.
So it feels like, Danny, you lead by example. That's the message. When we spoke briefly with Michael yesterday, his words of wisdom were that you do speak, you lead through examples. You don't tell people how to do things. You do them, and they say that works, or that's for me.
It's funny. I had this family, like they were having a lot of trouble with their 16-year-old son, and he's smoking weed. I mean, keep smoking weed. I keep telling him don't smoke weed. And I said, well, wait a minute, you smoke weed, don't you? Well, yeah. And I said, well, how can you sit there and tell them don't smoke weed, and you stink like Kush,
Right.
and,
Right.
and so it's funny that they gave up smoking weed. And hey, we quit. And he's 18 now and he doesn't smoke weed. You
Nice.
have to.
Well,
I can't tell my son don't drink holding a beer.
right.
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 Uh,
Yeah.
Right.
and so you just have to lead by example. It's like, this is what I do, and my son and daughter, all of them are clean, but one of them has 6 years and one of them has 7 years clean and sober. So
Wow.
I'm very grateful, real grateful.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So
people need to see
why
this film.
Yeah, I was going to say about inmate number one, but why do you think? Well, so what was the first film you did? What was your first movie?
God. The first one I remember was a movie called Runaway Train with Jon Voight and Eric Roberts. But I was running around Hollywood trying to be an extra, and because at that time you got extras paid $50 cash, just cash.
Right.
So
right,
and so I had no idea of being an actor. I just stand up, be tough, just stand there, give me $50, I'm gone. And I was working. We did this. I was working with this one kid that was trying to stay clean, and he happened to be a PA on the movie Runaway Train that I was on, and and I ran into a friend of mine that I knew in the penitentiary named Eddie Bunker, who was a writer.
Oh,
and he came up to me and said, "Danny, what are you doing here?" I said, "Collecting $50." And he said, you know what? We need somebody to train one of the actors how to box. And I said, "What's it pay?" And he said, $320 a day. And I said, "How bad do you want this guy beat up?" I thought it was a hit. I thought he was mad as something. And no, you got to be real careful. This actor's high strung. He might sock you. I said, "Eddie, for $320, give him a stick. Are you crazy? I've been beat up for free, man."
Okay.
Goes, no. I started training Eric Roberts how to box for a movie called Runaway Train with Jon Voight and Eric Roberts. The director saw me and saw that Eric respected me and wanted to learn how to box. So he would do whatever I told him to do. And Andre, I'll never forget, he came up and he said, "You be in movie. You fight Eric in movie, and you be my friend." Now, if you come from a prison background, you don't like people saying you be my friend.
Right. Yeah.
And I kind of, and then before I could say something, he leans over, he kisses me on one cheek, kisses me on the other cheek, and walks away. I told Eddie, look, I'm going to train the kid for $320, but if I'm going to be kissing that old man, I want more money. So that was how I got my tap, partly everything. I got everything.
So it was Eric Roberts and who? Who was it?
Jon Voight. Eric
Jon
Roberts,
Voight?
Jon Voight. Yeah.
Oh.
And let me tell you something. That movie, the movie got nominated for Academy Award. Jon Voight got nominated for Best Actor, and Eric Roberts got nominated for Best Supporting Actor. That was my, and so I was with the champ.
This guy?
There
this
he is.
guy?
Hey, Big John. Wow.
Oh man,
John,
I listened to that whole thing. I was hoping you wouldn't do me in. You know what I mean?
Hey,
it's a terrible thing that you just did. You know what I mean? You said that Andre Konchalovsky came up to you and said, you know, you be in the picture. And I was the one who pointed you out to Andre Konchalovsky. Now, this is what I say. Do you see what I mean? Everybody wants to get credit for it. You see, of you being in that picture, you were so terrific, and your career has been so wonderful since then, and you've done so much. And I'm listening to your conversation about what you've done in terms of giving example to other kids and your own kids. And this is just wonderful. I'm so, I'm so in awe of you, really. God bless you.
You became a big part. We did Anaconda together.
Can we go to the gallery for a minute? So, here you go.
There you go.
That's exactly.
Wow. That was what I realized. The snake.
There's your first movie.
Look at that. Whoa.
Yeah, there's your first film.
Manny.
Now here's Eddie Bunker.
There
right?
I am. And watching you
Jon
guys
Voight,
in the ring. Yeah.
This is when you're watching them in the ring.
John, you know what?
Yeah.
Every one of my friends wanted to know if you'd ever done time, because you hit that so good. Everybody that I know has been in prison says, no, he's been in the joint, huh? No.
Yeah, that's right. Keep telling them that.
And Heat too, right?
And Heat too.
Yeah.
See that? Oh, yeah. Now that's the movie that really pushed my credit up. Working with John, working with the two other guys, Al and Robert.
De Niro.
De Niro, yeah.
The three of them, yeah.
Yeah, that was.
But so, hey, John,
wow,
I just want to ask John a question.
This makeup is my imitation of Danny Trejo.
I was going to say what was the idea for the blotchy look, makeup that you did?
Well, I'm starting to get it anyway now, naturally, but Eddie Bunker had these spots on his forehead and all he had a rough skin complexion. And I explained to Kenny Diaz, who is my makeup guy. I said, Kenny, look at this picture. Guy. Yeah, great guy. And I showed him the picture of Eddie Bunker, and I said, you see those sunspots on his face and all that damage, that sun damage? I said, my character should have been in the hole for a year or so. And he comes out and he's got fungus on his face, and he goes to the yard and he just felt the sun on his face and he just said, burn it up. And he let the sun get to him. And that's the result. Right. He had damage. I said, can you do that on my face? And Kenny lit up. He loved it. He said, oh yeah, I can do that. And then he went at it, every morning we do it for several hours. And he finally, and then he'd come in and he'd come touch it. Let me do this one more, and he'd do a couple more. He was a perfectionist, and that's the look we got.
You also did some really special stuff with your eyelid in Runaway Train, right?
Yeah. Well, this is all Danny Trejo, everything. Danny, I was with Kenny. No, it was another guy, Monty Monsanto, and I said to Monty, and I looked at my face, as we were doing it in the mirror, and I said, it's not rough enough looking. I got teeth made. I put something in my nose to make my nose look a little more broken. And then I said, what if I take just the top of it and pull it down over my eye a little bit? Would that help? And that's what we did. Yeah. So, and that worked out well too. Yeah. So anyway.
Hey, Danny. So I actually have been fortunate to work with John in the past, and I'm inspired by just watching him work. What was your experience being with these guys on set and watching them? And especially as a new actor coming in, what was that like to see these amazing actors doing their thing?
Working with John, especially on like Runaway Train. John does what Eddie told me to do. He said, Danny, you just disarm people immediately. And if I'm the first one to say hello, that means you don't have to puff up your chest at all. And he disarms, hey, how are you? What's up? And to me, that's I'm okay. I'm at ease. So like, because I mean, come on, he's Jon Voight, and I'm a new actor. I'm seeing Jon Voight. I'm intimidated. Like, I hope he likes me. And all of a sudden, hey, how are you? So he makes you feel like he likes you right from the start, and I think
that's so true.
That's a quality that I wanted to have, and that's the quality that Eddie Bunker told me I had to have if I was going to be in Hollywood because of the way I look,
Well, it's great that Eddie was kind of a mentor to you. But what you're saying is, I think it's, if you're working, we're all a team. When you're working on a film or what you're doing, anyways, we're working as a team. So we have to come together. And I like people anyway. Generally speaking, I like people. I find them all interesting. We're all unique. And we're all amazing in a sense, So, but to get us to work as a team and have the fun of that right away, it's hard to get that kind of camaraderie unless you put that extra little energy into the front of it. I think that's very wise advice from Eddie. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Eddie gave me some of the best advice. He said, I remember when I started getting like a little famous, just wow, people notice me now. And the one thing he said, Danny, the whole world can think you're a movie star, but you can't. And I really understand that. And Jon has that too. It's like, I don't like being called a movie star. I'm an actor that works. Movie stars are dicks. I ran into movie stars. I slapped the shit out of
but don't screen yourself. Just say it true.
And both of you, like working with the Muppets, you have to be pretty like humble to do the things that we ask you to do and to accept the things that we ask you to do. Jon was in a turkey suit at one point. He was like, yeah, I'd love to do a turkey suit. And Danny, you laid on an operating table with the Swedish, with Ralph the dog pulling things out of you.
Yes.
Throwing up silly
that was
string.
fun.
The absurdity of it. And you guys are just so...
That those moments where we work with the Muppets, because the Muppets as a family and as an, they're iconic, this iconic family of the Muppets, So when I'm sure Danny feels the same way. It was like a big honor for us to be invited into the family.
Absolutely.
We'd have some fun and we wouldn't take ourselves too seriously. It'd be fun. And we also, one of the fun things about the Muppet deal is you get to know how it's done, because when you're watching it on television, you're amazed and you're so delighted by it, how these characters come alive and become, personalities that you look forward to and you're enjoying, and then you want to see how it's done, and then you see Bill underneath the, what's that guy down there? Jesus, and then you, it's Bill. Holy.
Well, so let me ask you, so is it, what I notice with a lot of celebrities who come to work with the Muppets, and is this true for you too as well, that after a while you forget there's a puppeteer. You're just locked into the gaze and the eyes of the puppet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, for sure.
That's so true. Yes. It's like you actually start talking. You actually start talking to, hey, what do you think?
I wonder how they think about us. You know what I mean?
I think they're thrilled that you would even go near them. But a funny story about connecting with the characters. We did a show years ago called Muppets Tonight, and Tony Bennett was a guest. And I remember he was fascinated by the shapes and the colors, because he's an artist, and a great painter, and he sculpts them. But he was fascinated, and I was doing this character named Johnny Fiamma, who was like a bad Italian lounge singer who loved and idolized Tony. And we did the read through, and it was all great. And then we went to shoot, and he kind of didn't connect in the scene. He felt kind of distant from it. And only when we took a break, I thought, how am I going to get him to connect? And when we weren't shooting, I had Johnny turn to him, and Johnny said, Tony, you know what's wrong with the bread in California? And he said, no, Johnny, what's that? I said, it's the water. It's not the same water. And then he started to go. He was like, that's right. And then you can't get the same pasta. And then he was on a roll and he connected. So
great. Well
sometimes,
done.
you pull, it's different. Some people just fall into it, but sometimes it takes a little more.
You guys are artists. You're all artists and actors. So you're really good actors. So
thank you.
Bill worked as an actor on the film that we did together. But this work with the puppets, it's this magic that you guys do is it's really something, and it's a lot of fun to be part of just to be one of the Muppets. I'm with the Muppets today. I mean, this is a big deal.
Oh, well, we loved having you guys, Danny. I hope you've enjoyed. We're gonna thank Jon, but he was open to coming on immediately. He said, "Danny Trejo, you bet I'll come." So thank you, Jon. Anything else you want to mention before?
I want to say I think it's terrific to give focus to Danny and his work. I think it's wonderful what you guys are doing. So carry on. This is very good work, and I'm so glad to see you, Danny. It's wonderful to see you. Congratulations on all the
Thank
work
you.
Done.
I'm gonna say hello to Eddie's wife, Jennifer, and Brendan for you. Okay.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, please give him my love. Yeah. Maybe we should get in touch. Get my number, Danny, from the guys, and then give me a call. We'll get together. Okay.
Yeah, good. We'll hook you guys. That's great. Look at that. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, look at this.
Besos.
Yeah, thanks,
love you,
Jon.
Love you.
Maybe, Jon. There you go.
I was going to say, maybe you guys can get together for like a 2021 remake and like Runaway Uber or something like that,
Runaway Uber.
Modern it up a little bit.
Runaway Uber, really.
That's awesome.
Well, all those things that you're doing in show business, your priorities stay true to what's really important is the work you do outside of the industry. And that's what I admire you the most for, with all the great stuff you do.
Yeah.
What I realize is the movies are the best platform anybody can have. I mean, I honestly believe we're put here to help. That's why we're so well known, and the movies give me that platform. When I walk onto a campus anywhere, I've got everybody's attention. Not so Danny Trejo, but the guy from Spy Kids, the guy from Con Air, the guy from Heat, you know what I mean? The guy from Blood In, Blood Out. And automatically they want to hear what those guys have to say. So it's a good platform. I wish more celebrities would do it, but I don't blame them for not, because they don't have the time. I learned that a busy man has time to do everything, and so I love doing it. This guy had set up this speaking engagement for all the wanting to be tough guys in Hollywood, and he asked me. I think he asked me as an afterthought because I hadn't really gotten well known yet, and then they were supposed to be there at 11 o'clock. I was there at 10:30 and waiting, and he got like 4 phone calls, and they're too busy, and so he calls his sponsor. And his sponsor says, "Who showed up?" He said, "Danny Trejo." That's all you need. He's the only one that's been there. And it's funny because he asked me, why I got to ask you, why'd you show up? I said, because I owe. Don't you understand? I owe these kids my life, man. And they don't. They don't.
Right.
I do. So.
Yeah.
Well, folks, again, see Inmate #1, The Rise of Danny Trejo. It is a great documentary. Yeah.
Great documentary.
Yeah.
And I was just going to say, Danny, I'll be calling you. We got more Muppet stuff coming in the future. I'm sure we'll see each other
anytime you want. Definitely. The Muppets have a standing yes. Remember that. The Muppets have a standing yes. For Gloria. Because, first of all, she loves Miss Piggy. And she was like, "You got to see Miss Piggy," like a little kid. You got to see, oh my God.
Well, next time I'm going to let her know when we have a shoot coming up and Miss Piggy's around. I'll let Gloria know that we're shooting and she can come visit. And I'm sure she'll get a kick out. And please, and Gloria, if you're watching and you're seeing this, thank you, Gloria Hinojosa. Thank you so much for all of your help with this. And she's awesome.
She's watching.
All right, Danny.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Danny.
man. Peace.
God bless
Peace
you.
and
Thank
love.
you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless you too.
There you go. Let's just sit with that.
How much better does it get? I don't know.
Let's just sit with that for a sec. Let's just Danny Trejo.
When people see the film Inmate Number One, they'll realize why it's so cool to have had that moment, as well as Robert Rodriguez and Kermit and Jon Voight all in one show. So that was pretty.
That was awesome. I think he really loved it. I hope he loved it.
So Swedish chef
he
too.
really
He was in
enjoyed
there.
Oh,
although the Swedish chef
just
broke without permission.
Yeah, called in just to threaten him. I thought that was really helpful. What a nice guy. Okay.
Yeah, before we tell you about next week's show, which I think you're going to get excited about, we have, in last week's show, we talked about a giveaway. And anybody who became a new subscriber or was an existing subscriber were in the running to receive an autographed book of mine, Jack the Tripper, and an autographed book of Billy's, It's Hard Out Here for a Shrimp. And we have that winner's name. And her name... Darcy Borden. Darcy Borden.
Darcy Borden. Darcy Borden.
Darcy Borden.
Hooray. Darcy Borden.
So the best way, Darcy, what you have to do is email us through the website again and give us the address for which you want us to send these gifts, these signed gifts, and let us know who you want us to sign it to, in case it's not Darcy, and if you want to sign to somebody else.
Darcy
Next week's
Borden.
show, by the way,
Darcy
too,
Borden.
the people. So if you want to continue, we're going to have more giveaways for more subscribers. So keep going to the website or the YouTube channel to subscribe. Also, if you go to our website and join the mailing list, we're sending out a digital version of a drawing that we all did last week when we had the Muppet fan artists with us. Those haven't gone out yet because for some reason the mailing system is down, so I've had to wait a few extra days. But you'll all get one of those. All of you will get one of those. There's not a drawing for that.
Next week, we're going to have two very special people. We have the incredible Jane Gutnick. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. But if you don't know, you should know. Jane has been with the Muppets. What?
Go ahead. I was going to say, give them a little teaser. Tell them what,
Well, Jane has been with the Muppets for a long, long time. She was part back in the Muppet Show days, and she just has a fascinating life. She lived in New York, Studio 54, all the fun stuff back in the 60s and 70s. She's been with Muppets almost her entire career. And we became very close over the years. She helped me learn a lot about design and puppets in general. And we've worked together as a team on coordinating films and TV shows. And without her, we're good halves. We work great together. So we have her on. That's really exciting. And then we have... Is
there a Bowie connection also?
You'll have to ask her.
Okay.
She certainly was involved in Labyrinth, so I'm sure there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
And then my first television son will be on when I worked on a show called Dinosaurs. My baby, Mr. Kevin Clash, will be here to join us. And if you don't know who Kevin Clash is, then you shouldn't be watching the show. So we're excited to have them both. It's going to be great. Anything else, Gene? We wrapping it up? What else?
That should do it.
All right. Well, hope you enjoyed it.
I'm exhausted. I had such a good time. I'm exhausted.
I'm thrilled.
My cheeks hurt from smiling so much.